What's going on, EM crew? Today's video is Python web scraping with Beautiful Soup. Before I jump into the Beautiful Soup portion of it, I want to actually show you a quick and dirty version as well. But before we do any of that, what's web scraping? Well, web scraping is when you want to extract data from a website. So imagine you're checking out the leaderboards for your favorite video game and there's a table with, say, 1,000 records of people's information. Maybe it's their name, tag, their score, the place, and then whatever else. So web scraping would be programmatically taking all of that data and then packaging it up into something that you could use. And I'll show you a couple techniques that you can use to go about that. So I built a file here to allow us to scrape data out of, and this file is basically just a giant table with a bunch of data, and a couple of these I've marked as class special, and those will come into play later with Beautiful Soup. I also have a second table at the very bottom that is inside a div called special table. And again, this will come into play when we use Beautiful Soup. Besides this one file, we're also going to do some scraping on some live sites just to show you some variety. So the first example is just kind of the down and dirty, just quick scrape. And for this example, it's really nothing more than using requests to request the data, and here I've provided the URL to that special HTML file that I have. Second step is supplying some regex that can extract data out of that HTML file. I don't think I mentioned it before, but note that this HTML file is full of names, emails, and phone numbers. And it's all just generated data. It's all garbage. None of it's real. All I've really done here is create two regexes. One that matches the phone number format for the data that I found in that file, and then one that matches just a really basic email format. It's not a great regex. I just threw it together real quick just for the purpose of the video. So we can test this by printing out these two things of data, phones and emails, and then coming over to the terminal and running it. So this is scrape one. So basically what we're looking at here is a giant array of emails. And if we scroll up enough, you'll see also the array of phone numbers. So the upside to this method is that it's quick, it's easy, and it's going to search just throughout the entire text. Doesn't matter if it's HTML, it could be anything. The downside to this is it's kind of just a dragnet method where it's just going to get you everything, and occasionally you're going to get garbage back, things that matched your regex, but they aren't actually phone numbers. So just to show you that this works with really any file, I pulled up this site. It's just a golf site, and Club Contacts, they always have their emails, sometimes phone numbers on here. So if I just copy this URL and then just drop it and place it here, and then just rerun it, you'll see that I get all the emails and phone numbers that are present on the page, here. And this is true no matter what site I use. I mean, I can hit back, I could just pick a different one. I'll pick the second one instead. So copy that, drop it in here, save, clear, rerun, and then poof, I got all the phones and emails. Anyway, it's kind of basic, but that's the quick and dirty method of scraping. And now on to the more sophisticated method, which is the one that uses Beautiful Soup. Using Beautiful Soup starts out a lot like the other one, where you import your import requests, so you can get the content of the site, and then import Beautiful Soup. Once you've got the content of the site, you can load that into Beautiful Soup. And what this does is it takes all of the HTML and it basically represents it as the soup variable, and you can use that to find various elements, iterate over elements, and things like that. And we'll do a bunch of examples now. So since this is less of a dragnet method, more of a specific, pick the exact data you want method, you have to first analyze what the data you're scraping looks like. So we'll go over to our HTML file, and we know that there's a table, and inside the table there's a number of TR elements, and then inside each TR element there's a number of TD elements. And this is an important step to web scraping, is you have to go analyze the structure of the data you want to scrape first, because that's how you're going to instruct Beautiful Soup where to actually look for that data. So our first example of this is going to be getting data simply by looking for each TR element. To do this, you can use soup.findAllTR. Now because this returns a list of TR elements, it means you can iterate over it. So you can do for TR in soup.findAllTR. So let's recap something important here. The soup variable is representation of the entire HTML document. So when you tell soup to find all TR, every TR is now a representation of that TR and everything beneath it. So what that means is, just like I did soup.findAllTR, I can now do for td in tr.findAllTD. And so we'll stop here and just print out TD, and then we'll run it over here in our thing. So you notice I got all that table data. I got name, email, phone, name, email, phone, name, email, phone, all the way down. But you see that the TD is still there, and that's because TD is a beautiful soup element still. If you want to extract the actual text out of the element, it's very simple. All you do is you add .text. And when we rerun it now we have just the data. So if we want a list of lists of all the data that's in each TR, we could modify this to use list comprehension. So values equals, TD text for TD in tr.findAllTD. Then that'll just print the values and check it again here. Now notice the empty list there. That's going to be the header row. That's the one that has a TR element, but inside that TR element is TH elements rather than TD elements. So let's just refactor this just a little bit more just to get into a real list. So we'll do data and then data.append, the values. So now we have a legit list here now. This next example is finding things that have a specific class applied. So remember when we were looking over this, I said there's some elements here with class special. So what we're going to look to do is extract the data from these TR elements, but only if the class is, special. To do that, it's almost exactly like this other one, so much so that just copy and paste it. The only change is that in findAll, you could specify a class, and you could specify which class you want to look for. So in this case, I'm specifying just special. And then we'll just output the resulting data, and then run it again over here. So you can see now that only extracted a few records, and that's because it only looked for the TR elements that had the class special. So colon, if you come over here, you could see that colon is the first one that has class special applied. If you wanted to look for specific IDs, you would just change class to ID. And it would work the exact same way. Now when you're web scraping for real, it's probably not going to be as simple as just a page with a giant table on it. You're going to actually have to do some hunting for the data you want. So in this file, the one thing I added was the special element down here. So this is a div, class special table, and it has a table beneath it. So imagine if you're on a page and you found a table of data that you want, but there's also other tables of data on the page. So you can look in the source and you can find, which class that div has, and then you can use that in Beautiful Soup to narrow down the scope of what you're scraping to just that div. This example starts out kind of the same, just like the rest. We'll do data, but this is where the difference comes. Notice up until now I've been using soup.findAll, and that's because I wanted to find all, the TR elements. But if you just want to find one element, you can say, I'm looking for a div. So div equals soup.find, just find. And then in here, I'll do div. And then just like the second example, I can use a dictionary. I can do class. And then what I call it, special table. I could specify special table in there. Now div is now a variable that represents that div class special table and then the table inside it. From here, extracting the data is the exact same thing, just like the rest, except instead of soup.findAll, I'm doing div.findAll. And then I'll just output the data so we can test it. And you can see the results are Kennedy, Graham, and Aristotle. And if we look in our scrape.html, we can see that those are the 3 names that are in that special table. So hopefully now everybody can see the power of find and findAll. It basically lets you select any element anywhere on the page and iterate over any child element of any class name, of any ID, of any amount. So just these 3 examples alone should let you scrape just a litany of data out there. So let's use what we learned, put everything to practice, and scrape some data for real. So I found this site on UMG Gaming, and it has a leaderboard, and I thought for this exercise we could extract the place, the username, and the XP. So let me just arrange this so I can open it frequently. So remember I said the first step to scraping data is to first understand what the data looks like. So Hydro, I know that's going to be helpful, for finding stuff. So I'm going to make this bigger. And this is all the content for the site. So I need to get to wherever Hydro is. So Hydro's here. So from here I just have to kind of go up in this HTML structure and figure out where it starts. So I got span, div. So maybe this isn't it. I'm looking for more of a table. Here it is. So I got first, I got the name, I got the XP. This is where I'm at. So I just need to bring, go up here, figure out where this begins. So I got TD, T-body, table. Perfect. ID leaderboard table. Perfect. That's exactly what I need. I can use Beautiful Soup to just go directly to that table, and I can extract the data inside it. So as usual, I gotta take the URL, drop it into my script, parse the resulting data, same as I've always have. The first step is getting the leaderboard, and remember we said that was a table with an ID leaderboard dash table. So I do find table, ID, leaderboard dash table, and that should get me the leaderboard. I can verify that by printing the leaderboard and running it. So I see all the data, I know it's the leaderboard, so I'm good so far. So looking back at our data here, table is the top level element, so I want to skip over this T head and just go straight for the T body. So that's the next element I have to write up here. So I do T body, leaderboard dot find T body. Again, I can print T body just to verify that that's all still good. And it is, I'm still getting data, so good so far. So now we've isolated the data that we're scraping down to that T-body element, we could just jump right into the actual TR element. So for TR in tbody.findAll TR, print TR, and we can test it out. And we're still getting a bunch of data. I see some XP, so still getting the right stuff. The next step is to begin to extract the individual pieces of data. So I want first, and I can see that that is the 0 index TD element, and I want the text from that. So we can just write that out. So we'll do place equals tr.findAll TD. Remember, it's the 0 element TD. And then we want the text, and we want to strip out all that white space around it. And then we'll just print the place to make sure we're on the right track here. And we are. First, second, third, all the way to 25th. So now we'll analyze the second piece of data, which is the username. So username is buried here in the text. So the username is going to be in the 1 index TD, and it's going to be the second anchor tag, and then it's going to be the text inside that. But this is still pretty simple using the same stuff that we found, that we've learned so far. So the username equals tr.findAll TD. Now remember, it's 1, and then we want to find all the A, and then take the second element, and then it's going to be the text inside that and the stripped version with all the new lines and white space removed. We'll print out the username, and then we'll see if we're on the right track. There we are. Now we got all the places and all the usernames. So last is the XP. So remember, the place was in the first element, the username was in the second, and then the third is something we don't care about, and then the fourth is the XP. So this looks a lot like the place. So we can just take the place, copy, and just change the 0 to a 3. That is the XP. We'll look at it again, and there we have it. We got the place, the username, and the XP for all the people on there. So let's recap on our code. So we started by getting all the content from that site, and then we proceeded to load all of that content into Beautiful Soup and get a soup object. We then isolated just the content we wanted, which was the leaderboard table ID, and then we further narrowed it down to just the T body within that table. Then we looped over every TR element and then began to extract the pieces that we wanted. So for place, we found all the TDs. We took the first element in that and then took the text. For the username, we looked for the second TD. We found all the anchor tags. We looked inside the second anchor tag, took the text, and stripped. And then same with XP, was just like place. And that's it for web scraping. I showed you a quick and dirty way, and I showed you a more sophisticated way with Beautiful Soup. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And get out there and scrape some data. See you on the next video.